Back in the late 70s, my parents and I moved into a neighborhood in a town 3 states away from the state we lived in before. I was about 12 at the time. Anyway, our new house was a big, two-story, three-bedroom house, much larger than a previous house. The neighborhood was small, but the backyards were huge, with plenty of room to play in. A few days after moving in, our new neighbors, the Robinsons, as well as their daughter, Tonya, stopped by to say hello, welcomed us to the neighborhood, and informed my parents about the situation that has been occurring throughout the town. Tonya and I were sent upstairs, as this was adult talk and not to be heard by children. We secretly sat at the top of the stairs, listening though, as we all did as children. What they told my parents was that there have been multiple children that have went missing over the past few years. Law officials are baffled by the situation and to keep a close eye on their son, me, just like how they do their daughter. Now, let me tell you about Tonya. Tonya was a unique child, a year younger than me. She was quiet, slightly introverted, a little off, and totally infatuated with flowers. She had a giant flower bed in the Robinsons' backyard. It was full of all kinds of big, beautiful flowers. Occasionally, actually, quite often, I would see her out of my bedroom window as I was rocking out to the latest Kiss album. She would be playing Duck Duck Goose and other childhood games around the flower bed with some of the neighboring children. Well, I assumed they were from this neighborhood as I didn't get out much. It was never the same kids twice though. Anyway, the funny thing about it was, after every time she had friends over, I would see her through the bedroom window, late at night, tending to her flowers, singing songs, and dancing around the flower bed. I chalked it up to her uniqueness at first. Then I started to notice that every morning after the visits, the flower bed got a little bit bigger, and soon after, another big beautiful flower appeared. I started to avoid Tonya at that point. Anyway, this went on for about a year and a half, until her flower bed practically consumed the whole backyard. I wanted to tell my parents, but I had no proof and Tonya freaked me out a lot. Then, one day, the Robinsons and Tonya just disappeared, vanished. They left behind their car, all their belongings, and even the flower bed. The house sat vacant for a couple years after that. All of Tonya's big, beautiful flowers survived for a couple months, then died altogether. I kinda felt bad. I watered them a couple times, but I really didn't know how to care for them. Still don't. Anyway, I guess the town took over ownership of this property, eventually, because one day, I came home from school and saw a moving truck, several police cars, and a pool installation vehicle in the driveway. Apparently, someone bought the house and planned to put the pool in where the flower bed was. A couple days later, newspaper articles revealed that the pool company began digging up the flower bed and discovered the skeletal remains of an adult male, an adult female, and over 50 remains of small children buried underneath the flower bed. DNA later identified the remains as those of David Robinson, adult male, Denise Robinson, adult female, and many of the children reported missing over the last 5 years. Tonya was never found, nor was she ever seen again. Well, my last statement isn't actually true. Hello, My name is Donovan Mitchell. I'm a long-time customer here at Barnaby's. I've been shopping here for years. Let me tell you, Barnaby's is a very old store. I love it here. The prices are good and you get a nostalgic feeling just walking through the door. Not to brag or anything, but I just celebrated my 22nd anniversary with my wife, Jillian, a couple days ago, but that's not important. Anyway, I overheard a couple of the workers talking about strange and unusual things that have happened here and that the owner is looking for stories about such things. I don't know if this fits into that category. Hell, I don't even know if I'm going to give it to him. What do you think? Anyway, I woke up a couple days ago and found my honey-do list sitting on the counter in the kitchen. It's my day off and my wife had to be work at 8, so I got to run errands. For those of you that don't know what a honey-do list is, it's a list usually given to the man by his wife, his girlfriend, or significant other, whatever the case may be, of certain things that need to be completed that day. Anyway, I got my list, drank my coffee, drank more coffee, then decided to get started. The list wasn't that big, shouldn't take me long. I thought, maybe an hour or two. I'd still have plenty of time to catch the highlights of the Eagles game last night. Anyway, I changed the light bulb on the porch, mailed Aunt Betty's birthday present, and unplugged the drain in the bathroom. For as much hair as I pulled out of that drain, my wife should be bald by now. Anyway, I completed my list, except for one thing. Pick up a few things from the grocery store. I thought, what better place to go than Barnaby's? So I hopped in the car and headed over there. Anyway, with my list on hand, I started to gather the items: eggs, bread, milk, among other things. I couldn't get the lunch meat because the deli was closed due to an accident that happened yesterday, but that's a different story. Anyway, being that my anniversary was the next day, I decided to pick up a vase of roses while I was shopping instead of going to the florist and paying some astronomical price. I figured I'd go over there real quick, get what I need, pay for my stuff, and be home in plenty of time to watch the highlights of the Eagles game. So, I went to the floral section, found the roses, and was standing there deciding which one to choose. When out of the blue, I heard a small female voice from behind me say, "Welcome to Barnaby's. I'm new here. How may I help you?" I turned around to see a middle-aged woman, about 5'3" tall, a little on the chubby side, long black hair, and glasses. She looked vaguely familiar. It didn't hit me until I looked at her name tag. It read, Tonya.